Yes, blessed people, blessed love. And we are back with Community Conversations and Afua Speaks once again. Glad to see everybody in the room. Not sure if I'm going to have any moderators tonight. I think everybody's kind of busy, so I'm going to have to manage the dissidents on my own, it looks like. But that's not a problem. We'll be back to like the old YouTube days when I used to do that. Oh, hang on. Yeah. There is a moderator in here, but they're not on their usual. They're not on their usual handle. I don't know if it's the same handle. They're not on their usual handle. So if you could if you could send me that link, beloved moderator, All About the Black TV, or if you can jump on All About the Black, then you'll go straight into moderator. But other than that, you're on a different chat. It looks like, yeah, you're on a different chat. So yeah, I don't know if you can do that for me, please. Yep. All right. So if we can't do that, then I'll have to moderate myself. So welcome back, people. I've had a really, really good rest in terms of, it's not really been a rest, actually. It's just been about taking some time out to manage my life and get a lot of things done that was outstanding, because I really did pour all of what I had into the campaign and getting the march done and everything like that. And there were a lot of things outstanding. I needed to pay more attention and more time to my little girl. And apologies for the late list tonight as well, because she actually had a tummy ache. So yeah, we got held back with that. She's okay now. And so, yeah, welcome to everybody in the room. I hope you guys have had a good 2 weeks as well in the room since we last spoke. I can't wait to update you on what's been going on. So I'm going to start with what's been happening in terms of the campaign. So what's been happening is we've held a round of recruitments. We're having 2 rounds of recruitments, and we've held a round of recruitment, and we've been able to successfully appoint some people. So we're in the first stages of getting volunteers together, and eventually that will roll out into the initiatives that we have planned. And one of those things that we have planned is a crisis line. Eventually outreach as well, which will be attached to the crisis line. And that's it. That's as much as I'm going to say at the moment. What we really need to focus on at the moment is getting people or volunteers on board to help with that initiative. At the moment, we've got a planning committee, if you like, that was involved with the march and stuff like that. And they will be the planning committee going forward in terms of the initiatives, in terms of the support system. Oh, brilliant. Excellent. So our moderators here, thank goodness. Keep an eye on Mr. Joe, because he's already got a provocative question. There will be no public apology, and we'll get to that in a second. Not just yet, anyway. So yeah, in terms of the initiative, we really want to take it in chunks. We're still fundraising for that, so please don't stop giving. We need as much support as we can get. You know, and that the uptake of that is not as fast as we need it to be. So there will be personal funds going in terms of myself. And we may well have to go for some kind of funding, but I'm very careful about the funding. I don't want that kind of public sector funding that entraps you and you know, keeps you to their agenda. We're not dealing with any of that. I'm really looking at procuring Black businesses, because we need to keep it inside the Black pound. That's what we need to do. You know, for too long, we've been in a situation where we just don't have our own stuff. We don't have anything for ourselves. Even when we have a crisis as big as this in our community, there is nowhere to turn. I wanted to set up on the back of the march Black pound services that we could funnel people into on the back of them disclosing. There's very few. And the ones that are there aren't really that autonomous. So if it's not there, you know, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. That's one of my mottos. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to make lemonade at the moment, my brothers and sisters. So yes, that's in terms of the initiatives. I'm really, really happy. I've contacted the successful candidates. They're absolutely excellent. And I'm really confident that we're going to get the right people on board that can drive this forward. But we are having a second round of recruitment. So if you are interested, please DM me on @AfroRose69 on Instagram. Please, if you're interested. The door hasn't closed just yet. We are still recruiting, and yeah, I'll be happy to hear from you guys. All right. So that's that bit of housekeeping out of the way, if that's what they call it. Peter Bailey. So I had a conversation with Peter Bailey because I've actually been trying to get hold of his number. Every single person I call out, I try to get their details. Sometimes the victim doesn't have the details anymore because it's been so long. Sometimes they don't want to give those details directly. Once or twice that's happened. And other times I just really can't get hold of anybody or get a contact who knows that person in order to give me those details. You know, and social media doesn't always produce, you know, people use different names and stuff like that. So I have had conversations with, you know, a few of the people that I've called out actually. And yeah, I always seek to have a conversation. We've invited Rat and a few people, Eamon Edwards. We've invited all of them on this live to have a conversation, especially if I haven't got a direct number for them. I will always say, could you come on? And I prefer if they did. So it will be good to hear all sides. But unfortunately, so far, apart from Buzzer, who had a kind of pretty abysmal shot at it, Peter Bailey is the only person that has actually come out with a full statement and tried to refute any of those claims. Yeah. So yeah, you know, that was good that he did that. I'm glad he did that actually. And I'm going to go more into it next week because I've invited Peter Bailey onto this live, and he has accepted. I did want him to come on this week, but I only really got hold of him yesterday. So yeah, I only got hold of him yesterday. So it was short notice for him. That's why he couldn't come on today. So he will be on this live next week, telling his side of the story. That's what he'll be doing. Yeah, I saw the interview. There was a few things that were wrong. Like, for instance, the interviewer was suggesting that I had said that Peter Bailey's most recent victim had been suffering under him for years and years. No, I didn't say that. I said that she knew him for years. I didn't say that she'd been suffering under him for years. He was a loose acquaintance. She knew him for years. So, you know, there are a few indiscrepancies, but generally I thought that the guy done a good job. I thought he was balanced, and I thought that he tried to remain as objective as possible. I thought it was a good interview. Yeah, by all accounts, you know. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with any of it, and I don't have a problem with criticism or whatever people want to say. I know the truth of how I go about things. I know that I speak to victims. If victims don't want to come out, that's why they've got a thing called anonymity. You know, we're not going to go into too much of that. It's going to be a really quick live because I am absolutely knackered, and I've got to wake up again at 6 o'clock in the morning. I've got a lot doing at the moment, so I'm not going to spend too long on too much in this one. What I will say is about the Peter Bailey thing, let us reserve judgment until he's here. And yeah, I'd love to have a chat with him and hear what he's got to say about the allegations. I have also spoken to the victims, because, you know, there are family members associated that are very, very affected by what has happened, or what is alleged to have happened. So, you know, they maintain their story in light of Peter Bailey's interview. They maintain that he did what they allege that he did. But fair is fair. Let's get him on. He's willing to come. He's willing to have a protracted conversation, a full conversation. And let's hear what he's got to say for himself. So that's going to happen next week. And I'm not really going to talk too much on the subject until I have that conversation with him. I don't think it makes much sense, to be fair. So that's him aside, Peter Bailey. Let's hope he comes on. If he doesn't make it next week, I am going to try to have another conversation with him, before next week. If he doesn't come on next week, then we're going to talk about it anyway. And I'm going to update you on the things that I wanted to update you about this week. So, yeah. Next person I wanted to talk about. I got a phone call from the victim of Michael Bailey. Sorry, Michael, I keep saying that, and it's not Bailey, actually. I don't know why. It's one of those kind of Freudian slips. Always forget this cat's name. It's crazy. I always forget this cat's name for some weird-ass reason. Campbell. Michael Campbell. You might remember him a little while ago. Nasty piece of work that used to creep into his half-sister's room at night. When she was a little girl, he'd come up from Jamaica. Don't know if you guys remember that guy. He's on my Instagram page. So I got a call from the victim, who was very, very distressed indeed, because she'd been to the police. She'd been to the police at the time when it was disclosed to me. She found the courage to do that. She was very, very brave to find the courage to do that, because the family are one of those families that want to be, that are complicit, that are denying her truth, that are gaslighting her, and actually fabricating what could be evidence in her case. When spoken to, in fact, they've actually said to her, if we're asked, we're going to say that you're a liar. That's how deep it is, my brothers and sisters. It's how deep it is. You know, we do what we do because of a case like this. We really do. I'm not going to go too much into that family. I can't. I don't have the brain space tonight. It's a really bad hair day today, but don't worry about that. I don't have the brain space tonight. I'm so exacerbated by the level of denial that takes place in our community. I'm so exacerbated by it. It's just unbelievable. It's crazy. It's like people are living in some sort of Twilight Zone or the Stepford Wives village, you know, where everyone's walking around in a bit of a daze. It's like deny, deny, deny. I've never seen such a collective level of a collective case of Stockholm Syndrome. Never seen Stockholm Syndrome as a collective, you know. I've never belonged to a cult. Cults usually behave like that, but our community is almost unanimous in their denial of what is going on, you know. But this individual feels that he's getting away with it, and he won't get away with it. He can't. Karma will not allow him to get away with it. At some point, this woman will get justice, and I would appeal to the members of that family, to Michael George Campbell's family. Yeah, do the right thing by your sister. Do the right thing by your daughter. Do the right thing. You know, there's a few people going through this. The brother from Birmingham that we called out a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, him. The way that family treats that sister is criminal. It's not right. It's not fair. And she has a child by the abuser. Nobody can't deny that there was grooming and abuse going on when he's so much older than her. Nobody can't deny that in that family. But we see it so often, time and time and time and time again. Even in my own family, the victim is made to feel as if they are wrecking the family, first of all, and secondly, that they are not to be believed. They're not to be believed, and they are discredited. They are, what's the word I'm looking for? Unreliable. That's the word. They're made to feel unreliable. No one believes them. The Crown prosecution doesn't have enough evidence. The families hide what's going on because of their own shame and guilt or whatever else it is, and therefore deny the victim, who is their own family member. Both people will be in the family, you know, both the abuser and the victim, but the victim invariably is the person who's out in the cold on top of their trauma. It's unbelievable. That moves me to another piece of disturbing material that I watched today. I don't know why it came up in my feed, because I've never visited this guy's page. I've heard about it. I think someone sent it to me. And it's a guy called Truths and Rights TV. And he's got a video on YouTube called Afua Rose, the Destruction of the Black Man. I don't know where to even begin. The level of rage that this guy is espousing in his quest to try to say that, you know, I'm just I am indiscriminately, this is what the brother's basically saying, and I paraphrase, that I am indiscriminately calling out any black man's name that comes into my head and putting them all on a list just so that I can destroy black men. Come here and say that, Truths and Rights TV. You shouldn't even have that name. Yeah? You shouldn't even have that name, Truths and Rights TV. And what kills me the most as a lifelong Pan-Africanist and Afrocentric, he's got this right knowledge kind of Afrocentric backdrop to his TV, but yet he intermittently peppers his narrative with interjections of dirty bashment music, slack music. It's just all over the place. It's all over the place. He's really crap at presenting and narrating. His stuff is disjointed. He hasn't got a bloody clue what he's talking about. But yet he sounds so convinced of what he's saying, you know? And based on Peter Bailey's interview, he says, and there is somebody else here, Mr. Joe, probably is him in another name, who says that I should make a public apology. Why? We haven't examined it yet, have we? And you haven't heard from the victim either. You haven't heard more from the victim. We haven't examined it. Peter's been kind enough to come on here, brave enough to come on here and face the public. Yeah, those who believe and those who disbelieve. That is a quite a daunting thing to do. So good for him that he's brave enough to do that, and I welcome that. You know, I'm not on here to berate him or anything. I actually really do want a measured conversation with that individual. So no, based on, look, Rat denies everything. Eamon denies everything. Soloid denies everything. They just all deny everything. But yet there are all these women coming forward saying that they did something. Everyone denies it. So what do you expect them to do? Do you expect them to say, hey, guess what? I'm a nonce. I'm a predator. I stalk women. I'm a risk to women and children in the society. And I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing because I've been your brethren this whole time. Do we really expect them to say that? Do we? Especially in historic sexual abuse cases where the material evidence is zero. Zero. The pedophiles know this, and they know that they invariably get away with it. That's their thing. That's their safety net. So they're not about to come and fess up, are they? In a system that rarely convicts them. Very rarely convicts them. Why do you think it's so prolific in our society? Truths and Rights TV. And to suggest that I am trying to destroy my beautiful melanated black men is a heresy. How dare you with your foolish talk? I have never heard so much cack in my entire bloody life. And he reckons that he might be next on the list. Well, will you? You sound like a man that's worried to me. Will you be next on the list? I certainly I don't even know who you are. I don't know your government name. I don't know who you are. People don't ring up and talk about Truths and Rights TV. I've never heard anybody talk about you, apart from the fact that you're a little bit of an airhead. I've heard that. So no one's plotting here. If sisters come out and start to talk about you, then yes, of course your name will be called up. But other than that, who business with you and your ridiculous opinions? But don't you ever, not me, not a mujahid like me, yeah? Let me tell you something. I don't know where you come from, but I never see you in the movement back in the day. I have not seen you in the UK black Afrocentric movement fighting for the rights of your black people back in the day, 30 years ago. I have not seen you. I've been in this thing 30 years defending my black men. Yeah? I've been sacked defending my black men in certain jobs where I'm just not having their foolishness. And I don't mind that. You understand? I walk on the wings of the worst prisons of this country. defending my black men. So shut your mouth if you don't know what you're talking about, or come in here and have a measured conversation with me and we can get to know each other. But at the moment, I think you're an idiot. That's what you are. You know, the destruction of black men. You don't know what the destruction of black men is? Use your channel and your really, really subnormal content for good, or to aim it at the right people, because the only enemy of the black man right now, yeah, in fact, they've got two enemies, black men. The one that we all have as black people, which is white supremacy, yeah, and themselves, incorrect black men. They are their worst enemy. That's what's going on. Enemy of black man. It's something happening. See, when I looked at it, because I've been trying to ignore all those things, but it's the level of rage and fever that this man's coming with. It's quite corrosive. And the only person who's destroying anything is you. Understand? And us also, you know, come chat to me, contact me. He reckons that he's the only one that's brave enough to take me on. How can you say you've taken me on when you haven't contacted me? You've made a video. You're not taking anything on. You understand? This guy. And when you listen to him as well, he sounds like he's got a speech impediment, for first of all. And yeah, there might even be some kind of cognition impairment or something, because it's just all over the place. He jumps from one thing to the next. It's all crap anyway. But I just wanted to answer him. I think he's a damn idiot. He really is. I love my black men, especially the ones that are protectors and providers, because that's what alpha males are. And I don't really tolerate brothers around me that are not alpha male, you know, like the Truths and Rights TV guy. You know, if you're struggling for content, Truth and Right TV, then please don't make me the subject of your desperation. I'd ask you not to do that, because this is serious business we're dealing with here. Yeah, it's serious business. And if you can't admit, if you can't accept that there is a serious problem in our community when it comes on to the brothers violating sisters, if you cannot accept that, then we have to say that you're one of them. Because all the decent brothers get it. What is it about you that don't get it? And what is it about you that's running that old narrative that it is me that is saying all this, that I have some kind of agenda and that we have phantom victims? He also said in this video that, you know, where are all these victims? What did you not see on the 16th of October? Are you blind as well as stupid? Truths and Rights TV. I'm in the mood for them tonight, my brothers and sisters. Do you know what? Everything I came here to do, the march was brilliant. It was fantastic. But this country has a way of, I don't know, it's just got a way of slowing things down. You know, when you need things to happen, they don't happen quite as quickly, and da 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 da. And a lot of the other business that I came here to do is taking longer than it should. And this place is a crisis for me. I don't want to be here in that regard. But, you know, I go with the spirit, and the spirit looks like it wants me to be here a little bit longer. And the only purpose I can find in that at the moment is that I need to be here longer, to stay on the ground, to build as much as I possibly can before I depart. You know, so there's obviously a reason for it. Sometimes we have to just walk in obedience. Doesn't matter what we want. If I had my way, I'd have been gone on the 17th of March. Trust me, I really would have. So, yeah, when it comes on to Truths and Rights TV, and any of the other fools that are in the chat tonight or whatever, I'm very confident that moderator All About the Black will deal with them, because she's really, really good at doing that. So yeah, Truths and Rights, come on the live. Let's chop it up if you want to have a conversation. Other than that, stop spreading misinformation, brother. That's what you need to do. Everyone I speak to, everyone I speak to, or everyone who speaks on me, I should say, seems to get things wrong and just lots of misinformation. I just think, oh, I didn't say that. Why are they saying I said that? I didn't say that. Go back to my live. And then I watch back the live and I think, I definitely didn't say that. What is it about their lack of comprehension that makes them hear something? Or is it just the narrative that they want to push? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, people need to come on, man. Apparently Sir Lloyd is trying to get hold of me as well. Sir Lloyd has been requesting my email address. Why? Why would you want my email address? And I've advertised it publicly right here on this live. Why do you need it? I find that a bit creepy. What do you want to say? Contact me. That's all you need to do. Or jump on the live. Have a public conversation. No? No, you prefer to hide behind stupid memes and fake denials. That's right. And I'm still waiting for the charges, by the way. And no, I'm not hiding. Yeah, I'm not in hiding. Nobody's in hiding anywhere. Yeah, if I was in hiding, I wouldn't be here. I've never been in hiding. I am cautious because of the wickedness and the nastiness that you people want to espouse on people that want to air the truth. Because you know what's been going on. You know your nastiness that you've been doing, all you people that have been doing it. Yeah? And those who choose to know it and still support them, or choose the narrative that I'm some kind of destructive element in the Black community that's come to rip it apart, and I'm an agent that's working for the man. Oh, please. Talk about agents. Talk about how they used to follow my ass when I was really fighting for Black man and woman. Talk about that. Yeah? If I this isn't about my previous works, but if I was to tell you about it, it would take up more than it does with this subject on these lives, trust me. Yeah? But there is a book coming. It's been coming for quite some years now. It takes a long time to write, and I will be bringing that out at some point. Hopefully it's a worthy read. So yeah, Michael Campbell, man. You know, I can't think of anything to support this sister because it is so heartbreaking. I mean, what do we do? What do we do? This is why we do what we do. It's why we do what we do. You know, when I heard the level of despair in Sister's voice, it brought a tear to my eye. And unfortunately, I was busy at the time. I couldn't even really go into it fully with her, you know, but it really upset me. Okay. Sorry, I was just reading this. The guy goes live on crime scene, speaks to victims, friends, and families within 24 hours. Sorry, I haven't seen no one in the UK doing that. Oh, I don't know what that's about. I thought it was towards me. Never mind. So yes, my brothers and sisters, it's just been a really interesting time, and it's funny because when the march happened, all the, what do you call them, trolls and dissenters and what have you, disappeared. It's like they just went boom, quiet. And it's almost like they were kind of whispering and huddling together, and now they've regrouped and tried to come back with a new angle. I'm so sick of it, man. I just want to see healing in our community. I want to see sisters believed. I want mechanisms in place where we change the narrative and the mindset towards victims so we don't have to go through this all over again. And yes, it's unfortunate. You know, when you say who's next, this guy's asking, well, who's next? I'm asking who's next to Rotted. Who's next? That's how prolific it is in our community. That's how long it's been going on. That's how perpetrators build themselves into well-known, well-respected members of the community. That's part of their MO. And that's not to say that every respected member of the community is a perpetrator or a pedophile, you know? Somebody's asking this question here. I got to answer this woman here. Why don't you have any sisters with you going live? It's like it's only you alone. I don't understand. Where are your friends? Sis, brother, I don't know who that is. My friends are my friends. They do other things. Why would they come on my live? Anyway, I don't know what you mean by that. Maybe you want to clarify. That's just really interesting. But yeah, if you're talking about the victims, we've gone over it a million times. I'm not saying it again, why victims don't come on. Some do, some don't. Some choose to remain anonymous, and for good reason. Rotted. Yes, Sister LB. I see you there in the chat. So yeah, it's just long. It's a long thing right now, my brothers and sisters. It really, really is. And so yeah, when it comes to rap now, we are this close. We are this close. I've been saying for well over a year from the beginning that we are working on something monumental that will blow the lid on just absolutely everything. And we are this close to completing that task. We are this close to seeing that saga come to its conclusion. Yeah. And as I've always said, he has so many victims. And we're working with many of them, but there's always going to be more. So I'm putting out a third appeal. The first appeal was at the first video. The second appeal, I think, was sometime in March. And I'm now putting out a third and last appeal to anybody that was a victim of Vincent Rat to DM me on @Afua69. I need you to do that. So we're going to put out a fresh appeal for that, a third and final appeal before we actually go and complete what it is that I cannot tell you about just yet. I've not been able to tell you about it for one whole year. And I can't say just yet, but when it comes, not only will it blow the lid on everything that's been happening in Brixton, but it will also silence these dissenters. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. So please, if you've not had the courage before, look at everything that's happening. Look at the loss of power that he sustained in Windrush Square. There's no more bogeyman, my sisters. Come out and speak to me. I implore you, because I don't want to leave no sheep behind. I really, really don't. I don't want you to be an onlooker because you still hold that irrational fear in you. It's not a tangible fear anymore. It used to be. This was a really dangerous, scary man. But right now it's an irrational fear because that fear was groomed and bred into you, and the level of trauma that you experience at the hands of that individual is why you may well still feel that fear. There's nothing to fear, sister. There's nothing to fear. DM me at Afua69 on Instagram. And I will be able to reveal to you, once we go through all our checks and balances in terms of victim or not victim, real victim or not real victim, I will be able to reveal to you exactly what it is that is happening behind and has been happening for a whole year now, and how it is that we will be able to keep you 100% safe. But I can't say any more than that. And also those that have disconnected, I have been trying a few people this week and not been able to get hold of them. Those who have disconnected, even those that may not have heard from me for a while, please re-message me, because sometimes you're just buried way down a few months into the DMs. I have numbers and things like that and what have you with live cases, but there are some conversations I may well have had that need to be picked back up upon, and it'll be a lot quicker if you just re-message me rather than I have to go through all those messages. So if we can do that, I would be very, very grateful, because honestly, we're about to see the conclusion of that. Trust me, my brothers and sisters. I do not lie to you. I do not lie to you. Absolutely. So yeah, that's it on Rat. I can't really say too much, but let me tell you, we're going to be saying a lot. We are going to be saying a lot, because he's a vile man. A vile man. Call it defamation of character. I dare any of you to come with your defamation of character, because you know what will happen there? What will happen there is that the court will have to subpoena victims, unfortunately, and victims will have to come and speak at court. And when the swathe of victims come forward and the evidence is weighed by the court, I think you're going to find that you're on the wrong side of the law. So come with your big talk and your defamation of character claims, all a bunch of rubbish. All a bunch of rubbish. I keep saying it. And why hasn't it happened yet? Hasn't happened yet. Unbelievable. This idiot, Truths and Rights, whatever his name is, was asking how I'm getting away with this. Who am I working for? The only person spreading dissent and corruption is you. I'm working for nobody but the Most High Living God. That's who I'm working for. And I'm working for the many victims who we believe, because of the weight of their evidence, that even the CPS might not consider that evidence, but we consider it evidence. Yeah? We know when the sister is lying and when she is not lying. And there's nobody that's going to come on here and shame themselves before the world talk about their inner secrets like that. You know, when we look at the example of Sister Karma, for instance, telling us about some of the dysfunctional ways her abuse left her. No one's going to reveal that stuff about themselves unless it's true. Who's going to do that? Who's going to pop down their own name? Not going to happen. Yeah? The level of stress that I've experienced doing this, no one's going to choose that. Yeah? No one's going to choose that. I certainly didn't choose that. Yeah? I'm a performer. I'm lots of things. I don't need clout. I have celebrity in different aspects and walks of my life from the past right up to where I am now. Yeah? Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. I'm just on the ground, all about my people. And it's high time that somebody stood up for Black women. There's too much of their pain that I identify with in my own journey. And I don't have a problem. I'm healed. I don't even think I was even that damaged to begin with. When I compared to some of the stuff my sisters have had to go through, you know? So this isn't about me. It really, really isn't. You know, if it was about me, I'd be back in Tanzania running my business and doing my poetry nights on the beach, which I enjoyed very, very much. Thank you. That's what I'd be doing if it was up to me, if it was about me. But it's not about me. It's about I can't even tell you how many women I've spoken to over this year. Yeah, not all of them make it. Not all of their stories make it onto this platform. And especially in the early part or early to mid part of this campaign, it was relentless. 4, 5, 6 times a day, every day, 7 days a week, women's stories from our British Black community. And you want to tell me to be silent when we've got such a problem, such a systemic problem in our community? You know, must be crazy. The bubble bursts and it bursts now. The time is now and it bursts now. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sister's right. If there's 30 victims and 5 are found to be lying, the cause is still worthwhile for the 25 telling the truth and the other innocent women and children of society. Liars can be dealt with separately. Absolutely beautifully put, my sister. Absolutely beautifully put. That's it right there. You know, how can I help it if somebody's a good liar, for instance? If somebody came along and was hell-bent on trying to destroy somebody and, you know, good enough, because you'd really have to wake up very early in the morning to be that good with me, but good enough to get past that and tell a lie on a person. That's not our fault. Yeah? People going, oh, well, you should go about it a different way. What way is that then? As an undercover journalist, somebody else said it was Peter Bailey went, I'm a journalist. You should hear both sides of the story. I'm not a journalist, Peter. I forgot to tell you that on the phone call. I ain't a journalist. Ay, my brothers and sisters. Honestly. So, yeah, we're pressing forward. We're moving forward. As I said, I'm going to wrap up soon. I'm going to probably go to 45 minutes today. If you ever know my week that I've had, you would understand how absolutely exhausted I am. And I've still got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Still got to be up. So there are the fundraisers. Please continue to keep giving. It's not just about the march. We've got to get these things off the ground. As I said, we want to put together a crisis line, which actually doesn't even take that much, you know. You might think it takes a hell of a lot, but it actually doesn't really take that much. Some planning, a little bit of finance, the right people, we can actually get that off the ground. You know, it can be done in a way that is really cost effective. I've really been looking into it. So that's what we want to do. And we're doing it anyway. I always say we're doing this anyway. Whether you people give a dime, we're doing it anyway. I'm just asking for the support of our community, male and female, when no one's trying to destroy or remove Black men from this process. When we put together the street outreach team, I'm calling on our able-bodied men to join our sisters in that effort. You know, there are times we're probably going to need you on the streets at the end of the day. You know, we work together. We don't work apart. We work together. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to drop the link in for anybody that wants to come on and have a chat. Oh, hang on, what's this? Okay. If I can find the link. They've changed this format. It's all over the place. Ew. Oops. Oh, right. I've just found out how to share videos. In my quest to find the link, yeah, I found out how to share videos. Look at that. Wicked. Maybe we could have a look at a few things next time. Right. So I'm going to put the link in for anyone that wants to jump in. Please, please, please do. Otherwise, we're going to have probably the shortest live of the His Time Is Up history tonight. And as usual, I need to get a new laptop, people. Yeah, I need to get a new laptop. According to some of these people out there, I'm here stealing people's money from the campaign. I think I would have bought a new laptop by now if I was doing that. There we go. Right. So there's the link. Jump on. Let's have a conversation. I want to hear from people tonight. Everyone's always up in the chats and doesn't come on and have a chat. I want to talk to some people. The good, the bad, and the indifferent. Good, the bad, and the indifferent. I can't wait for Peter Bailey to come next week. I was really gearing up for it to be today. And unfortunately, he's not able to make today. But I can't wait for that to happen. You know, it will be a first. Because for the most part, let's just add that to the screen for a hot minute. Because for the most part, they hide in corners. They say nothing. They whisper between themselves and attempt to gaslight is what they do. Yeah? We have a taker. Brilliant. Oops, hang on. Oh, okay.
I thought I'd come back and just thank you.
Blessed, sis. Blessed.
I thought I'd come back and say thank you.
Hurricane Toya.
The views, oh my God, the last video we did together, everyone in America that I know, friends as well as family, Caribbean, everyone saw it, and a lot of people contacted my mum, so she's a bit pissed. She hasn't spoken to me about none of it, but a lot of people were scared I was going to name a load of names. But in that, me saying what happened to me and everything else, so many new names have come to me now from East London.
That's what happens.
And I'm like,
we need to talk.
There's another girl that should be coming on tonight. I don't know if she's in there. She was telling me some stories, and I'm like, where the hell was I when this happened? I didn't know about this, you know what I mean? And it's just been like, my God, so all this was under my nose. I had no clue. And all that area, a lot of stuff was going on, and I had no clue what was going on.
On the ends?
And yes. It's not just Forest Gate, Stratford, Plaistow, Hackney, Bow. I was just like, wow, you know what I mean? I wanted to clear one thing up. Norwich Road, he lived on Norwich Road, Foster Henry. He didn't live on, I keep saying Hampton Road. For some reason, that road stuck in my head for some reason, but it's Norwich Road.
Norwich Road was off my road, sis.
Yeah, that's where the hostel was. I didn't know what it was. Some sort of hostel or bell hostel. It was meant to be two on that road. Yes, one got raided.
I'd left home by then when those places started springing up, but I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, there was a few. I don't know if they're still there today doing the same thing. I have no clue. But it's amazing how many people that I've known growing up with, colleagues. A lot of my colleagues watched it. And they were just shocked. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. It was just like, whoa, this happened to you and you've just been the way you are. I'm like, unfortunately, yes. My partner that I was seeing, all this, he couldn't deal with it. So I just said, all right, I understand that you're looking at me in this different light now. So it's best we go our separate ways, because at the end of the day, if you're going to look at me because of what someone else did to me, I might as well just roll on my own, you know what I mean? But a lot of the men in my family have contacted me. My uncle said he watched it once and he hit the roof. Some of my aunts were like, my God, I didn't know this was happening, but I could see signs. I said, well, what were the signs? Like, I was potty trained. They used to wet the bed, and all of a sudden I was wetting the bed again and weird shit like that. And I'm getting beaten for it. And I did look it up, and a lot of people that's been abused, they do wet themselves, and they can't control their bladder because of down there, what have you. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just a lot of things have come out since then, and a lot of more people coming forward saying, my stepdad, my uncle, my cousin, and it's like, well, what the hell's been going on? And everyone has been looking the other way, like. It's been crazy. It really has been crazy.
That's why people like I don't know if you've seen that Truths and Rights TV guy. I don't know if you've seen that thing.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's why people like that absolutely sick me to the pit of my stomach.
Because it's hard. I've come and just done a half an hour talking to you, and like a good few people are not talking to me now for telling the truth. And then other people saying, well, I never called her nothing but a slag, it was her. And oh no, it was her. And now I'm finding out another relative of mine said the exact words were she should be sectioned, and another relative said the words, oh, if you talk about the situation, people are going to think you're nasty.
That is just
so how am I nasty? I get molested, I'm nasty. I get raped, I'm nasty. How's that nasty?
That same mindset.
That mindset is sick. It's a very sick mindset. At the end of the day, people need to understand what's going on here. There's a lot of girls getting molested. There's a lot of girls getting raped. It's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. I'm actually thinking about doing once a month, like hiring a hall and having ladies sit in a circle and just talk out their issues with child abuse, what happened to them, because there were so many people coming to me. I said, listen, I'm gonna have to think of a way that we can try and heal each other and
find
ways.
What we need to be doing wherever we are, because we don't have the resources to touch the whole country.
No,
if we can have that, people just taking initiative in their own spaces and setting something up. Do you know what I mean? We can actually coordinate that we can coordinate and pull together.
Like, even if it's like 10 or 15 prayers and everyone say what happened to them, and had some women can get over it, and carry on moving. Mm-hmm. Some women it stays with them. I know it stayed with me. I know it's messed me up for many years. Mm. And I still have trust issues now. You know what I mean? But I'm just gonna keep trying to help other people going through this. But I didn't realize how many, and some of the women that's come out, like, you? Yeah, when I was younger, I was like, no, no, it can't be you. You know what I mean? Not you. Mm-hmm. But this is what's happening. It's crazy. It really is. And then the men, and then I'm hearing other names now, and I'm like, there was a barber shop on Earlham Grove. That's what I said. I don't remember the bar. I remember there was a barber shop, but I used to just walk past it.
That's right. Yeah.
I never went in there.
That's what you're talking about.
And there was a guy that was meant to be working there, had a thing for underage girls. Someone was saying. I was just like, really?
I know exactly where you're talking, but this was long after I'd left the neighborhood, when those places started coming up at the top of.
I think it was not 94, 95. From what my friend was telling me. All right. It was 94, 95, 96.
I was still visiting.
Yeah.
But
this person's a little bit older. He's like a year or two older than me. But we were all like 13, 14, 15, 16. Some of us were just about to leave school. So there's no way they didn't know these girls' ages, because they had on St. Angela's and St. Sarah Bernal uniform.
You took it out of my mouth. St. Angela's girls. That's who used to
and
be the
Sarah Bernal uniform.
In that area. Mm.
And that's the thing. St. Angela's girls had the worst names and reputations. She's a hoe, she's a hoe, she's a hoe. But now people telling me, well, her baby dad, she got pregnant at 15, but her baby dad was 30.
There you go.
Excuse me. So she had the baby at 15. You're 30. So the possibility you were screwing her at 14, you met her at 13, and when you know what I mean. So yeah, they had reputations, but as an adult now was actually seeing what it was.
Now we know why reputations are so prevalent with certain girls.
And like,
Absolutely.
I'm glad I left school before the phones got in, because I'm hearing stories about them videoing young girls, giving them a head on the phone and passing it around the schools and shit like that. It's scary. It's really, for me,
it is absolutely epidemic, my sister. It's epidemic what's going on. I knew it was bad. I knew it happened. Put it that way. I had no idea until I'd done that first video, how bad it was. You know, and what's
mad. I remember when the first video hit. Someone I know who's around Vincent Rat's age, he's like, oh, exact words, this is his words, not mine. He said, well, everybody knew about it, so why is it then people are only talking about it now?
That's another argument I can't be bothered to even get.
I was just like, it doesn't matter how many years it took, they're only talking about frigging Elvis and Priscilla and them people now. Oh, and look how many years he's been dead. Exactly. You know what I mean? So you can't, it's not about when you come out and say this has happened to you. It's in time, when you get the strength to say it happened, you're going to come out and say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in them 8,000 views, we got, I know there was a lot of people that don't like me and don't believe me and saying it didn't happen, but I'm going to keep saying my truth. And if anyone asks me, I'm going to keep saying, this is what happened. This is where it happened. And the only reason I know the age I was, because I said things I remember, and then my mom said, well, you must have been 2 or 3 when it started, the first step. You know what I mean? You're not confirming, I couldn't confirm the age because I was a child, but I remember certain places, and when she checked it, she said, but he was only 2, 3. So, you know what I mean? But I'm hearing that person's in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then the creepy guy in East London that I told you about, I'm hearing he has prostate cancer now. So he ain't going to be chasing no young girls for a very long time. So it's just a lot of stuff going on. But I want to thank you for letting me know.
Prostate cancer rate. It's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of the ones that done the raping and molesting, they're getting prostate. It's like God saying, you know what I mean?
It's for real.
But I really wanted to come on there and thank you for letting me come out and tell my story. And you don't know how many people we helped that night, black and white. Because then other people coming to me, a colleague of mine, I was shocked. She just said, she told me her story and what happened to her, and that her parents actually abandoned her for telling her story. You know what I mean? And I think to myself, when you have a child, you all you want to do is protect that child. So I don't understand. Your child says, oh, I was molested. You're going to believe the dude that you took home from the club over your child. I don't know what's going on with black people. I don't know what's going on with the world.
With any people, you're right, because it happens across the board. It's like the denial.
Completely across the board.
But the moment
and believe it or not, there's a lot of women nonsense too. There's women doing the same shit too.
Oh my goodness.
But the mindset is, oh, I would have done that if I would have done her if I was your age, kind of thing. Men are not looking at it as like that's a child because it's a boy. It's like, oh, where they're getting these kids that are so crybaby that they're saying, oh, that woman raped me. That's madness. They're still
the kind of male peer group, they tend to emasculate the boy if the boy speaks out. And certainly in Jamaica, it's like that. If a boy speaks out and says he was raped by a man or whatever, they'll call him a batty man. They'll call him soft.
So you're going to laugh at the boy for being raped. That's just madness right there.
It is a madness.
It's just, I don't know what's going on in the world, but it's actually getting, but I really want to do the workshop like once a month. I want to start it next year, one Saturday for an hour or 2, where everyone can just tell their truth.
Yep.
And just try to free themselves. Because
talk to me. We're gonna talk off air anyway.
Okay, brilliant. I'm going to come off. I'm going to let someone else have a chance.
But definitely talk to me about that, and yeah, we'll catch up on that 100%, because that's exactly what I feel needs to happen. You know, we need to encourage that. And
I just wanted to say, people always say child molesters look a certain way. This is a man that molested his stepdaughter. He's in jail for it now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the picture of the guy. Does that look like a typical, when you thought of nonce growing up, did that look like a typical nonce to you?
My goodness, and he's a young man.
In his what, early 30s, if I remember the story correctly.
Was he sentenced?
It was this year. It was this year, and his sister was defending him online, cussing all of us, and we all battled her into the ground.
And what was his crime?
He molested and raped his stepchild. Yeah, and
he's only 30 something.
Oh,
so very old.
Yeah. I swear he's I've got to get the whole story and tell you the whole story. But the thing was, there's 2 churches in South London that knew about it because he was a praise singer, covered it up.
Here we go.
And he worked within football, so they were covering it up. 2 churches in South London, one in Lewisham, I believe, and one in Deptford. So it's not just Brixton, it's like it's all over. Because everyone's focused on Brixton, because it's like Brixton's like a different country to everywhere else. But Lewisham, Catford, Deptford, there's stuff going on down there that's soulless also.
Yeah, right across the country, sis. This is why I'm sort of thinking to myself, we need to take it on the road. No, obviously we're going to have his time is up. March again next year in Windrush Square. That'll be happening without a doubt. But I also think maybe we need to do some sort of presence in different cities, different ends. Definitely Northwest London, I know, is one of them. And East London,
St. Raph's Estate, I've heard a lot about there. The Stonebridge Estate. What is left of it, I have heard.
Lots
but even like East London, Thatch House, Cattle.
Cat's always been a dump, isn't it? And unless you're from East London, you're not going to even know those places, really. No one knows these places.
Thank God they've all been torn down now, but you do hear the stories.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me a bit, really. Not really.
But it's sad. It's sad what's going on with Black people. But we've got to protect the girls and boys, how I see it. But I really am going to do that once a month, a bunch of women come together and speak.
Bless you.
So I'm going to jump off, so I'll let someone else jump on. Have a nice evening.
All right, you too, my darling. You take care.
Later on. Bye-bye.
Good strength, sis. Excellent. Strong warrior sister, that. Yeah, from my hometown as well. Although, I don't, a lot younger than me, so I would have been long gone by the time sister got active in the community. But yes, what a strong sister, warrior sister. Thank you, my sister. Thank you so much. And that idea of, this is what I'm saying, we need to be organic. People need to take initiatives for themselves. If it's inspired by this campaign, let it be that. But at the end of the day, we can't touch everywhere. We can't get everywhere. There's some people that live as far as Scotland, but their voices need to be heard as well. And I am thinking about taking things on the road. I think the only thing that really is stopping me is the weather, to be fair. I know a lot of people aren't going to want to walk up and down in the rain. I will. I don't mind. I might just be going anyway. I might just go on my own, to be fair. But I do feel there needs to be a presence in other areas so we can spread that message. And let people in those areas know that we are also in support with their pain and what's been going on for them, But yes, my brothers and sisters, if there's nobody else left, we just post the link one more time. If there's nobody else left, that'll be the end of the updates for this week. Let's gear up next week to hear what Peter Bailey has to say. Oops, nearly dropped that. And then we can revisit that particular story. There's also one or two other new people that have come to light that I'm still kind of doing checks on and stuff at the moment. So we may hear about that next week as well. So here's the link. Yes, Militant One. I did say a month ago I'm going to take it nationwide, but that actually takes money. Have you donated? I keep putting the next person on. Have you donated, brother, sister, Militant One? Have you made any donations to the cause? It takes money to go nationwide. Security, travel, lots of things considered. I've got my youngest child is 11. There's only so much of my own personal funds that I can put into stuff, with all the best intentions. So yeah, if that's a question if it's a genuine question, it's just the way it's termed. You said a month ago. A month is no time at all, especially when you're organizing early night Afua. Sorry. Every time I take one thing off, it pops up the next one down, which I don't mean to happen. I do need an early night. I've been getting up at 6 a.m. every morning because I'm doing something at the moment that requires that. And I need to get up at 6 o'clock again tomorrow. So me being me, I was up reading messages and doing all sorts on the computer until about 3 a.m. this morning, which means I only had 3 hours sleep. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and if no one else is going to speak, yeah, let's keep it short, man. We're just over an hour, which is, as I say, that's a first, I think. Unless, no, I think I did one that was less than an hour, actually, just before the march. But yeah, we don't really do short ones normally. But there's no reason why the live has to go on for 2-3 hours. There's no reason why it has to. It's just that usually it does because of the issues that are being discussed, and also, whoever might come on and the conversations that ensue. So that's the reason that they usually go on for hours, especially when we're on YouTube dealing with all the trolls and stuff like that and all the dissenters. They used to go on for about 3 or 4 hours, I think. And yeah, nobody wants to. Okay. So Militant One's coming on. Now, why is it? Oh, yeah, here we go. Hey, Blessed Love.
Blessed Love.
Oh, it's a man. You're a man. I always thought you were a woman for some reason.
It's what do you call it? King TBJ Retro.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I keep forgetting your YouTube name. No, it's just sometimes the way that's the second time I've misconstrued what you've said. I think it's the way you term them. You're right, my brother.
I'm watching you on my smart screen TV and I've got you on my phone at the same time.
Ah, okay.
But, yeah, it's hard all of this. I've just turned off my TV. It's hard all of this because black people don't support one another. They just turn the other cheek, like unless it reaches their doorstep. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to know, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that is a thing. I think society has become that way, and I think that.
Thank you, definitely. It's not even a black thing anymore. Everything is just because of social media. Everything is just falling into one big cesspit or one big how you want to terminalize it. It's like and you don't need to worry about the trolls, I don't think, because to tell the truth, they get as soon as something else bigger comes along, they will move on to that, isn't it? It's only, do you know what I mean?
This is it. I think there was somebody called AR Scammer that's usually a protagonist in the place, who was kind of saying, "Oh, look, the same old thing every week." Like, go and watch EastEnders, bro. That's all I've got to say. Just go and watch EastEnders. Why are you here? No one's entertaining you. This is not an entertainment show. If it's the same thing every week, jump off, go and watch EastEnders. You will get different episodes. Yeah? Goodness gracious. They don't understand that it's a support platform for victims and survivors.
Yeah.
I ain't got no patience with it tonight.
Another thing, I think we haven't heard anything from things which have happened over this corona, the pandemic, instance, which, but I guess you're not, because that's going to be the next 10 or 15 years or 20, 30 years, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? of things which could have happened to people because we've all been on this lockdown. So imagine how much people have been trapped and can't go nowhere and had to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, when it was in the thick of the lockdown, I can tell you that domestic violence was up, murder was up, like domestic murder. All of those things were up. So can you imagine? I mean, that's one of the first things I thought of. I thought, oh my God, what about all the young children whose only escape is when they go to school? What about them?
And you know another thing which kind of pisses me off, and it's quite an emotional thing, which I think a lot of people can realize. You know, it's on the national mainstream media now. It's like picking up momentum about this woman against violence against women and rape and this and that. But look how long you've been over last year from the time with the Vincent Rapp thing, and then all of a sudden, because of this, and the black people, look at the woman, she spoke out, isn't it? Because her two daughters got murdered in that park in Wembley, and then the police flipping shared the pictures over, and everything's just getting from bad to worse, isn't it?
Yeah. It really is. But I say it has been interesting because there wasn't really a narrative before the video. And since then, it's just been whoosh. The Lambeth report, you know, all of it has come out at once, which to me says that this is the season. You know, that is a spirit that would create that kind of thing. People have been going, oh, until you spoke about it. It's not me. You know, obviously I was taken up with a spirit, and the spirit is here driving forward the truth for people that have experienced these things.
When I made the comment earlier, it kind of pissed me off. The reason why it looked like I was having a go at you is because I only see you as one black woman, whereas the rest of your sisters, like how usually when these kind of things, there's a team, isn't it, of people, but not one person. I know there could be people in the background, but come on.
There are.
There should be more than just you coming on each week. You alone shouldn't be doing this. You should have there should be, you know, like you have news nights or you have these different things. But I guess these are all going to grow, isn't it? You can't just expect everyone. And maybe you're not a liked person as a black woman. Maybe some black women, because you're not a walkover and you're strong. Some black women, where if you was kind of more in the middle now, that's when you get more of the sisters all coming together. But because you're like a force by yourself, maybe the women who might, how it could have come together as a group collective, it's not happened because they feel it. The women who might have come together with you and you all go live together each week or whatever, or each month or whenever you do your lives, they feel intimidated by who you are. Do you know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I mean, there's elements of that, male and female, to be fair. Okay. I see you, Ronnie. I'll bring you on next after Militant. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, look, story of my life. I'm like Marmite. You either love me or you hate me. Simple as that.
That's me as well. When you speak truth, people don't like it. They get offended.
That's right. But I actually don't give a twat. I really don't business.
You can't. You've got to be a freedom fighter. You've got to speak up for your rights, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Or for people's rights. People who don't have voices. People who are scared to speak. So you've got to speak for them, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Spread the word, my brother, because there's so many brothers out there that don't get it.
You know what really disturbed me, yeah? I used to always share your life to so much people because I'm a person, I just share everything all the time. I've got this habit of always wanting to share stuff, you know, decent stuff, not nice stuff, decent stuff, yeah. And I couldn't believe all the black people on my WhatsApp, because most of the people on WhatsApp are all black here. None of them are saying, oh, like the odd one or two people might say, oh yeah, look, but no one's. It's like this topic alone, no one's jumping on it and. But if it was something different now, everyone would be on it, isn't it? It's interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, my brother. 100%. But yeah, we press on. It's good to hear from brothers like yourself that's in support of the cause.
It'll be interesting when Double D comes back from Jamaica. He'll have some stories with you and him to speak. I guess you and him.
Gosh, Jamaica is so rife with it. I'm sure he's got his work cut out there. 100%. But yes, thank you, my brother. Thank you for coming on. I'm going to bring somebody else on now. All right. Blessed love to you, my brother. Okay.
Yeah,
Brother Ronnie.
100%. But yeah, we press on. It's good to hear.
How much of a delay there is? I can hear me in the background. Hi, Ronnie.
Hiya, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, bro, I can hear you.
Wow, it's a blessing to talk to you, man. You're such an inspiration, my sister.
Oh, blessed love. Blessed love. Thank you.
Listen, I really admire you. What I want to say, yeah, is I can't believe all them, the man who's getting called out. I can't understand why they don't come on this forum and clear their name. Because if it was me, hey, I'd be on this. I would be trying to clear my name. And some of the man them you've mentioned, I know some of them, and I don't know them like that. I've met them man in jail, right? So it's a bit of a shock. And yeah, but the next thing I wanted to say, about 3 weeks ago, you was talking about forgiveness, right? None of us are perfect, right? None of us, and we've all fall short. We've all done things. I've gone to jail and things like that, right? And we have to learn how to forgive. Some of these things what these guys have done, they've got to go and pay the price. They have to go and see, right? And we have to somehow deal with this, but we can't make what's happened be a cancer in us because it will kill us. So we have to somehow try and get rid of it. And I want to say as well, right? You as a woman at the head, people are praying for you, darling, right? And you have to know, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You see the swearing and that. If we're talking to God, we have to come right because God ain't going to answer our prayers. And you, Alpha, you need prayer because nobody ain't doing what you're doing, darling. So how you conduct yourself and what you're saying, God's going to protect you. But if you're going on and saying certain things, how's God going to help you, babes?
I hear you, brother. But God has always helped me, and He's always He's always taken me as I am. You know.
Yeah,
He's never left my side, my brother.
I know.
He's never ever left my side.
I've heard some things.
He speaks to me regularly.
I've heard you say some things, and I've heard some people say some things about like the weed and things like that on Solomon's grave. That's rubbish. God gave Solomon wisdom, not no weed. And I want to see you have victory.
My brother, I tell you one thing, yeah. My relationship with the Most High is not your contemporary Christocentric perspective, which is what I suspect you're coming from. It's really not. So I hear you, but if you've come to evangelize, it's going to be on deaf ears. If you've come to evangelize with that sanitized version of Christianity, then it's going to be a really futile effort, my brother. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just talking from my heart because I've seen the way how you conduct yourself, and I admire you because nobody ain't doing what you're doing.
And I'm like I said, I am what I am. And if sometimes my spirit shakes to such a level that I'm raw, it comes from God saying, wait, don't think that God hasn't got a wrath. And sometimes that is expressed through profanity, actually. Have a think about that. Because sometimes, like especially when you go into your traditional Christian type, as I say, Christocentric mindset, it's this thing about, well, we have to be as holy as thou and as clean as possible. All of that comes from slave teachings anyway, my brother.
Yeah, but all right. So, all right, you say that.
I just come as an authentic spiritual being. That's who I am.
Yeah, but
I feel like I am very blessed and highly favored. I fast and I pray.
I know that.
I know the one living God, you know.
But all right, so
I'm not about to sanitize or water myself down. If I feel to cuss bad words, sometimes I will. I don't think that makes me less connected to the Most High than the man that doesn't and believes.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to come over. I'm not saying that at all because I'm not perfect, right? And I'm not trying to evangelize to you. All I'm saying, there's certain things which I see, and I know you need prayer. I just know that you need prayer for you to have this victory, because this been going on a year and nobody ain't been nicked yet. And I want to see something happen. Do you understand?
Well, listen, guess what, bro? What I will say to you is this, okay? Prayer is there. Don't worry about prayer. Prayer is on lock. But what I will say is this: 1 year in the course of a historic sexual abuse case, especially if they're prolific and there's more than one victim, a year is nothing. You don't get a case to court in a year. Like, lay people need to understand certain things. And I'm not being disrespectful when I say that, but I hear this a lot. Oh, it's been a whole year. Sometimes even one person up for a criminal trial and all now their case hasn't been heard. So why do we think that it would take just a quick year to get 17 victims or whatever all investigated to the point where there is a trial? It's not going to take a year, bro. Have you considered that?
Yeah, I know. As I said, right? I know some of the man them from jail, right? And I've been listening, and it's very interesting what you're saying. And I want to see these women get their victory. And if these guys was doing what they were doing, they need to go to jail. And I've been there, and I know when they go to jail, believe me, there's a surprising visit there for them, and they know that.
But guess what? Guess what the sad news is, my brother?
They know when they go to jail, there's going to be something there waiting for them. Because
100%. We all know how they get dealt with in jail.
I've got sisters, I've got granddaughters, I've got cousins who are women, right? And when I hear some of the things, like it burn me. You understand? And I am not gonna say anything about them because I don't know. You understand? Because I know man's gone to jail already and they haven't done anything and they come out. So it's not for me to say that. All I'm saying is I admire you and I'm praying for you. And some of the things I hear you say, I cringe sometimes because if you just need that covering. And I'm not trying to come over holy because I'm not that kind of, I'm not perfect. But what I do say is you're talking about a lot of the Christianity thing. Believe me, I've read my Bible, and when I read the Bible, I see black people in the Bible.
100%.
So my eyes have been opened. So nobody can't brainwash me and tell me nothing. Because from Genesis right up, it tells me who I am as a black man, and it tells me that black man is the original Jew. So my sister, when I talk to you, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But why do you think why do you think I need a covering as opposed to I have a covering? That's what I find interesting.
Yeah, I'm not here to evangelize. All I'm saying is I'm bigging you up, I'm praying for you, and I know there's a few people praying for you, but some of the things you say, because when you talk about the Most High and you talk about God, blah, blah, and then you say something, and I just think, whoa, you know, that's just me. You are what you are. I'm just saying what I'm saying, yeah? You know what I mean? I admire you. That's all I want to say. Keep on doing the good work.
Thank
right?
you, Robin. Hello? Have you gone?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
We had a bit of a glitch there. I don't know what happened. Yeah, thank you for that, bro. I appreciate that. But you know, you're gonna have a hard job. Talk to my parents. They've been trying to refine me from birth. Even society has.
Yeah, you know why? Because you know what's happened? The Roman Catholics come in and they smashed up a lot. That's why we drove away from the Roman Catholic. And there's a lot of things going on in the Church of England. There's a lot of things going on in the Church of England where people are just drawing away because our eyes are being open to a lot of the things. Remember, we've gone through slavery and there's a lot of covering up. But you know what? God don't sleep. And whatever in the dark will always come out in the open. And there's a lot of things going on which is going to be revealed.
We're in the time for it, my brother.
We will link, man. I wanted to come to that. I wanted to come to that meeting, and I just couldn't because of work. But you know, we'll meet. And like you and Double D, I admire you. Lot, keep on doing what you're doing.
Bless you, bro. Thank
Bless
you for the
you,
support.
man.
Thank you.
You're
Take
covered.
Care,
you are.
And I'll try and hold down the bad word.
And listen, yeah, let me say something. You are covered in the blood of Jesus, and no harm will ever come near you, darling.
I'm covered in the blood of Yeshua the Christ.
Anybody who comes to
I'm not
harm
covered
you,
in the blood of Jesus. I'm covered in the blood of Yeshua the
anybody who
Christ.
comes to harm you, they will get hurt. Yeah, because the Holy Spirit will deal with that. Because you're doing something good. Remember
Thank
that
you,
you're
brother.
doing something good. Bless you, sis.
Blessed love, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Yes. They don't like when Afua gets rough at the edges. That's funny. But I hear the brother, you know, there's times when I look back and I think, oh my God, Afua went in. And I know my people. I can't take Ronnie off. What's going on? Can you hang up, Ronnie? Well, you're no longer on the stream anyway, but you're still in the studio. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Don't worry, Ronnie. You're in good company when it comes on to like my big sister and members of my family that just are not happy with some of the tirades that I've had and the bad word that I cuss. Well, it just depends on whether or not you step on the corn toe, doesn't it? That's what it depends on, really. Look, I'm not really about watering down myself. I am what I am. I have a good heart. And you know what? That is the principal teaching of the Bible. Good, clean hands and a pure heart. Those who are of clean hands and are pure in heart, those are the people that God works with. Because there's so many people that are just prim and proper and holier than thou. And we all know what they're getting up to behind closed doors. We've heard over the last year what all these so-called pillars of society are doing, you know? So, yeah, man, I've got my times, but, you know, I'm a chameleon. I am an absolute chameleon. I have sat at the higher upper echelons at board tables and able to hold my own. And at the same time, I can stand up outside a crack house and hold my own same way. I'm just that kind of person. So take the rough with the smooth, brother Ronnie. It is what it is. But yes, my brothers and sisters, thank you once again. That's right. No retreat, no surrender. I didn't feel like we're not backing down, you know. I've been told that men are too scared to talk out about me. Why? To talk out, you know, about me, yeah, or to come and speak to me. What's that about? What's that about? Because I speak to lots and lots of brothers, loads of brothers. I got a couple of brothers that are willing to support the cause, and you know, they ring me up, they tell me, yes, my sister, just like this brother Ronnie and brother Militant one just came on. They haven't got a problem. They're black men, they don't have a problem. So what is it about these others? I think these are questions they need to ask themselves. They need to examine what is actually going on. But yes, we're about to wrap up. For those of you that missed the beginning of the live, I put out a third and final appeal to more Vincent Rapp victims, because I know that there's so much more out there other than the ones that we're working with. Please contact me on my Instagram, DM me at Afua Rose 69, at Afua Rose 69 on Instagram. DM me and please let us be able to tell you how we can protect you in terms of your identity, and how moving forward we can support you. But we cannot allow that Raymond, we cannot allow that person to get away with the things that he's been accused of doing. We can't allow that to happen. We can't. And I think, you know, Rat is a very unique case because there's absolutely no question when it comes to him. You know, there is so much testimony, and it isn't just from victims. It's just from people that knew him in the community. Everyone knew it. He was sloppy. You know, these other ones, they look like they were neat doing what they were bloody well doing. But he seemed to be just openly doing what he was doing with impunity. And that's what's catching up on him now, you know, in the fact that very few people are willing to defend that particular guy. Others are more slick. You know, they're more classic in the way that they have moved. They've moved around in the shadows. Yeah. And one of the things that I find really lamentable is the fact that we give so much time, or certain members of the community give so much time, like this Truths and Rights TV guy, into trying to refute what I'm saying. But nobody's even spared a thought. Could it be true? And if it is true, what about all these women that have suffered? What about the victims? There is a real desensitization that I see. Real desensitization that I see. And especially if you're not liked, you know, if you're a controversial type of figure. I've seen it with myself. I've seen it with LB, the way that they go out of their way to gaslight her. So what if you don't like her? She was raped. So what if you don't like me? I'm representing the victims. It's got nothing to do with your personal bullshit. It's got nothing to do with that. What about the other sisters? Like somebody else said earlier on, only, I think it was Militant Mom, only when it comes to your door. But then again, is it? Because when it comes to your door, I would wager that you're the type that would deny the child. You people that want to deny that there is truth here. I would wager that you're the type that would do that. You know, when the victims become the perpetrators and the perpetrators become family. The deniers, the soothsayers. Oh, look, there's going to come a time when it really won't be under any doubt whatsoever as to who's done what and what's been happening. There'll become a time when it won't. And there'll come a time when there'll be more than just this platform for women and sisters, black or white. Because when I'm setting up, it won't just be for the black community. It will be for all women. But right now, I am black. Most of the victims are black in the black community. Duh. So therefore, yeah, we will have a principally black-led service that reaches out to black women. Anyone else can join if they want to, just like black women usually have to go to white mainstream services. It's a difference, except we're going to flip the model on its head. Come to us. Maybe we can give you a different understanding, you know, with our sojourn. So we're not about segregating people. And also, I would really like to, and this is sort of future, and this is all pipeline stuff, but I would really like to set up programs for the perpetrators themselves. They need healing. They need healing. But are we going to get enough perpetrators, though, that will admit that they have a problem in that department and seek help? They're not going to do it. They are not going to do it. But if they do, and they come well, if they do, full stop, even if it's one who's seeking help and wants help, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. I've worked I've worked in forensics. I've worked with pedophiles and perpetrators. I've worked on the numbers. For the most part, I've got a controversial view, which is that I just don't think they can be saved. But you do get the odd one that you can see is in turmoil, that doesn't really want to be doing what they're doing, but they're so driven by their urge that they have to offend. And those are the ones that usually end up killing themselves, actually, through the guilt or really trying to seek help. So we're not about shutting the doors on anyone that wants to do that. I'm very interested in working with black men who are pedophiles, because not enough of them are going to come out or willingly join a program. You know, it usually takes for them to get banged up and having to sit in groups on the numbers when they even go there, you know, when they even go there. So yes, my brothers and sisters, thank you once again. Looking forward to next week. I feel like I'm going to have a lot more to talk about next week. Not just about Peter Bailey, but there's other things in the pipeline and being developed that will probably come to fruit next week, and we can talk about it then. Please, 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 the donations are still flashing at the bottom of the screen. We need to get as much work done as possible. I'm getting more comfortable with asking. I don't see why I shouldn't. And also it takes a lot of time and energy and planning and all those things to come on here week in, week out for a year. Support the cause, my brothers and sisters, any which way you can. All right. And yeah, I just want to say as well, my prayers are always and forever with these women that not only that I've spoken to, but who message me, who show me encouragement, who tell me their stories, trust me enough to tell me their stories, and who eventually have the bravery to either have their stories aired publicly or have the bravery to attempt to go to the police, like Michael Campbell's victim, who's been so let down by the system and her family this week. You know, keep on moving, my sister, is what I want to say as a final word. Keep on moving. Keep on believing. Keep speaking your truth wherever anyone will listen. You know, it isn't always about the criminal justice system. We know it lets us down as a people, and it lets us down even more as women, and lets us down even more as survivors. So what chance do we have really at justice? This is what I was saying to Brother Ronnie, you know, when he's talking about convictions and stuff, it takes longer than a year. A year is nothing in an investigation such as these types of things. And even then, with investigation, going to court, the CPS invariably spits the case out. Look, don't take my word for it. The mainstream media is awash with Me Too rhetoric and programs and awareness raising and what have you. And a big program on Channel 4, which I thought was really insightful. I think it was based on Anglia Police and stuff. It was wicked. I really liked it. I thought it was, again, a bit sanitized, but there you go. Those things usually are. But I do think it kind of raised the issue of the fact that the police are really poorly trained, society in general, not much less the police, do not take victims as seriously as they ought to, and do not take into account certain factors. You know, they expect victims to behave a certain way, or they expect them to speak out straight away. You know, it's not one size fits all. Just like Sister Toya showed the picture of that brother that just looked like it could be one of my son's friends, for God's sake. You know, one size doesn't fit all in terms of the appearance of a paedophile. One size doesn't fit all in terms of the reaction of a victim. It just doesn't. And there needs to be more training around that. That's another thing that we need to do. We need to start making inroads. I've done it individually, but now let's do it as a movement, and making inroads into the major agencies and statutory agencies, as well as voluntary agencies, and training that staff. My goodness. Why is it after all this time and all this money and all this intervention that these people still don't know how to work with victims? What is that about? What is that about? And why are the police so inept? Why are they so quiet? Even on the subjects that we've raised, the topics that we've raised. We were outside Brixton Police Station. You know, there's been no movement. Nothing. We keep just hearing the same thing. We're still investigating. Really? Keep investigating. Keep investigating. We know it takes a while. Yeah, but we need to see more movement for true. You know, so I'm kind of here where Brother Ronnie's coming from. I do. You know, I hear where he's coming from. It seems long, but I do know the nature of the beast. And I also know it took about 5 years, I think, for them to gather everything up on Jimmy Savile before we started hearing about it. You know, but these were the authorities doing that, much less little old us that's putting cases together and presenting it. Come on, guys. 1 year, it's nothing. Nothing. Especially when you've got to go and try to contact childhood friends. You know, these are the types of processes that you have to go through with historic sexual abuse cases. It's not just an easy investigation. Like, I'm trying to educate people before they say it, before they just speak out of turn because they don't know what they're talking about, you know? But we're at 1 hour 35. I'm chatting away. It's 10 to 10. I need to go and eat and have a bath and prepare for my very arduous day tomorrow. DJ Fridge, you're behaving yourself tonight, D. It was suggested to me, DJ Fridge, that you're a large white guy, but your profile picture says that you're not. So I'm a bit confused. Are you a large white guy? Is that a real profile picture, or are you a brother? Just out of interest. I think someone's getting you mixed up with someone else, to be fair. Let me know. Put a 1, DJ Fridge, if you are a brother. Put a 2 if you're a large white guy. Just wanted to know the difference, because somebody suggested it to me, that you were the DJ Fridge who's a large white guy. But if you're not, let me know. Other than that, my brothers and sisters, I will bid you farewell. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Oh, okay. Yeah, get on. Is DJ Fridge behaving themselves, moderator, tonight? And he's not answering the question if he's a large white guy or not. Ah, that's what I thought. Daddy Fridge is the large white guy. Told ya, whoever told me that. Daddy Fridge is the large white guy. DJ Fridge is the troublemaker on here. So he's making trouble. But you kind of did behave yourself tonight, I think. Did he? Did he behave himself tonight? Oh, okay. Moderator, did DJ Fridge behave himself tonight? Or was he playing protagonist amongst the chats like he always does? Why don't you come on, DJ Fridge? You've had a lot to say for a lot of weeks, you know. I don't understand why you don't come on the live, why you choose to be passive aggressive and G people up in the chats and just make out of turn comments. Like, but yeah, I won't berate you too much tonight because you did behave you did behave yourself tonight, DJ Fridge. I'm told. You came late. Oh, maybe that was it then. Maybe we can have a friendly protagonist that we kind of like end up petting. Brothers and sisters, as always, it's always a pleasure to I put up a 1, DJ Fridge, if you're a large white guy. But I think we've ascertained that you're not anyway. I think you've got it the wrong way around. Brothers and sisters, let's keep the fires burning. Let's keep the stories coming, because I feel like there's a healing taking place in our community. The more that sisters are speaking, the more other sisters are speaking. Just like Toya said, so many people come on board on the back of a disclosure. You know, people are empowered and inspired and motivated when other people speak out. Yeah, so keep on speaking. Rap victims, come forward, come forward, come forward. More of you come forward. Because there's just, look, I don't even think we're ever going to get all the victims to come forward, because there's so many when it comes on to that individual there. Yeah. And any other sisters as well, with all the names that have been called out, if you've sat there and thought, I get DMs from people that never DM me again, and they're on a fake profile and they say, look, they did it to me too, but I cannot speak out at this time. And I never hear from them again. I tried to contact them, nothing. Please contact me again. If you've contacted me in the past, contact me again if you've fallen off, or if I've fallen off. You know, we have to nail this thing down, and we're trying to put mechanisms in place where this is going to be a lasting legacy that leaves services in the community for people like the LBs of this world that had nowhere to go. You know, the Donnas of this world. Maybe if there was a center or a helpline when Tony Buttons was taking her off the street that she could have called, it might not have happened so many times. You know, we need to start doing work with families so that they stop gaslighting their children, you know, and feel able and supported to be able to support their little ones. We've got so much work to do, brothers and sisters. Like, I don't see this as Instagram or YouTube call outs. Do you understand? We've got to change the narrative and the mindset in our community, and we have to leave a lasting legacy for our children, particularly our girls, round about now. And on that note, at 1 hour 40, I'm going to bid you all farewell and good night. And I'm going to gather my nuts and get my ducks in a row, and I'll see you here next week, same time, my brothers and sisters. Blessed love. Blessed love to you all.